welcome back to our channel. I'm Danielle, your resident romantic.
And I am Lindsay, the fantasy fan, and we are friends
till the bookend. Today we're doing a fun little twist of a video here. We have taken some of our favorite YouTubers, taken a look at like some of their more recent videos, seen what they're reading, and then we've thrown that onto our April TBR, and we're here to talk about it with you guys. Alright, so just first general, Lindsay, which YouTuber did you choose?
So the booktuber that I chose to read was Olivia from OliviaReadsALatte. She has been a favorite since I started watching BookTube. She's a teacher. I'm a teacher. She's funny. I'd like to think I'm funny. And we both love our Starbucks. But I feel like we tend to have similar reading tastes. And so I watched her Best of 2020 video where she talked about her favorite books of 2020, and I picked two that I had owned and that I have not read to do this video for. Who were your two?
Yes.
I know Danielle picked two. She went above and beyond here.
I did. Well, we both read two books. She read two books from the same one. I had two different booktubers. The first one I picked from was Hailey In Bookland. She was I think one of the very first booktubers I really watched, because while Lindsay has been a member of BookTube for a very long time, I am relatively a newbie. So I first saw Hailey In Bookland, and I realized that I related a lot to her because there are quite a few books that we read the same of. There are also quite a few books where it's maybe not something I would have thought of, but she describes it in such a way where I'm like, you're right, I would love that, Hailey. Also, she's just always such a happy personality-wise,
she is,
and I always relate to that. Like, I feel like that. So I chose one book from her, and I chose another book from Clockwork Reader. This book I chose from her because Clockwork Reader and I don't usually actually have the same tastes, and she's usually more of a kind of straightforward vibe that I guess I get from Hailey, but I also liked that the books she was talking about, they were also just like Hailey In Bookland, where I was like, oh, I wouldn't have read it to, like, I would say different booktubers, and I gravitated to both books that they talked about. I don't know the specific videos they got them from, so you're ahead of the game on that one.
They liked them, and that's what matters.
Yes, absolutely.
Super.
So the style that we did it is that we chose our books. We actually have some vlog clips of us reading through it that we're going to pop into it. Do you want to do a quick introduction of the books real quick?
Yeah, so the two books that I picked were Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia and The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Clune. Both of these books I've owned for a hot minute. I got this one from Book of the Month, clearly last July when it came out. And everyone was raving about this won the Goodreads Choice Award for horror. So I thought I would pick it up. And because I also loved her other book, God of Jade and Shadow, which was in another reading vlog that we did. Check it out. Shameless plug. And I really loved it. And so I thought that, I mean, the two are not related at all. They have nothing in common except they're both set in Mexico, in the historical past. So I thought if I liked her writing style of that one, I would like this one. And then for The House in the Cerulean Sea, I picked it because I truly have not seen one person dislike this book. Everyone was obsessed with it.
I've heard a lot of hype about it.
Yeah, and it says from B.E. Schwab, I loved it. It's like being wrapped up in a big gay blanket. Simply perfect. And I was like, what more could you ask for? So this was the one that I picked from her videos. So that is those
These
two.
are my two. I picked Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. That was from Clockwork Reader. And then I also picked This Is Kind of an Epic Love Story by Karen Callender. This one was from Hailey In Bookland. I picked this one. It is a queer romance, and I'm trying to broaden my spectrum of history of queer romance books that I've read. Also, the title literally has a love story in it, and the way that Hailey talked about it, I was like, yes! Let me get a good bingeable love story in here! And then I chose Such a Fun Age because the way it was described to me, both on the back and from watching Clockwork Reader's video, I thought it was going to be a modern look at how media can take something that happens and can misconstrue it sometimes, and so it's hard to actually get the truth of what's going on until you get down to the actual people involved with it. So I thought it was going to be a story about that. I was really interested in it, so I was like, you know what? You got me, Clockwork Reader. Let's read it. So those are the books we picked. We're going to pass you along some of our vlog clips now. We go into a little bit of synopses in it, and then we also talk about it. We're going to catch you at the end to give you our overall feelings of them.
Hello. I just wanted to go ahead and update you guys on Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, which is the first book that I chose in reading like my favorite booktuber, which of course I chose OliviaReadsALatte. And I am only about 3 chapters in, but you know, our basic premise here is that we have our main character, Noemi, who has kind of a cousin named Catalina who has had kind of a rough go of it. And she had a very quick engagement with a mysterious man named Virgil. And then she was whisked away to the Mexican countryside, and she really hasn't been heard from since, until she sends this really weird, creepy letter to her uncle and to Noemi that's like, hey, I'm being kept here by prisoner and there's ghosts and I'm being poisoned. And her dad's like, Noemi, you need to go and figure out what's going on with your cousin, and if you do, I will let you enroll in this like prestigious university that she wants to go to become a modern woman. I believe this is set in the 1950s in Mexico. So I'm liking it so far. Like I said, I'm only about 3 chapters in, but it's definitely got a vibe to it, and I think that Noemi is going to prove to be a very interesting character. I'm not sure if she's going to be reliable. But yeah, so we will see how I feel kind of more towards the midway point. See you then. Hi, I'm at work and I just got to chapter 23 and this book is wild. Oh my god, I am shocked at the turn of events that this book had, but pleasantly surprised because it's so weird. Like, there's no way you could have predicted what way that this book was going to go. I was worried I was going to have a hard time getting into it, but Sylvia Moreno Garcia has such an amazing way of being able to like draw your reader in, and her books are short, but they pack such a punch. Anyway, I cannot wait to get to the end of the book because I am dying to know what's happening. Alright, hi guys. So I just wanted to check in because I have finished Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, and this was way better than I thought it was going to be. I wasn't sure what to expect going into it. I knew that it was a horror book. I knew that it was set in Mexico in the 1950s, but that's like all I really knew about it. Sorry if you hear lawnmowers. Everyone in my neighborhood has decided to cut their grass at the same time. Essentially, we follow this girl Noemi, whose cousin is marrying into this kind of like weird reclusive family, and so she gets this weird letter from her cousin that's like, I'm being poisoned, there's walls that are whispering, and there's ghosts in the house. And Noemi's father is like, alright, I need you to go figure out what's going on because I don't trust her husband. And so Noemi goes to figure it out, and it's weird stuff ensues essentially. What I thought this book did really well is it actually covered topics like eugenics and racism and colonialism and like white superiority, like in theory or whatever, white man's burden is maybe a better way of putting it. And it did it very seamlessly within the story. I have read Gods of Jade and Shadow by the same author, and she discussed similar themes of colonialism there, but this was done so well. I ended up giving it a 4 stars, but it was like a really strong 4 stars. It didn't get a full 5 stars because there were some weird kind of muddled bits where I was like, I have no idea what's going on. It didn't detract from my overall enjoyment, but I think that some things were like unclear or maybe not specifically spelled out, which might be her point, but it went over my head. But this was really good. It was really weird. And I know this author has another book coming out in maybe September or October called Velvet in the Night or Velvet is the Night, and I will definitely be buying it.
Alright, so the first book I am reading is Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. This one I stole from Clockwork Reader. She was talking about a whole bunch of really awesome books that she read, and I was like, this one sounds really interesting. Very short premise of it. There is Amira. She's a black woman who babysits for a white family, and something happens late at night at the family. They immediately need her to go babysit, just take the daughter out of the house for a couple hours. Amira's like, cool, I got you, I'll take you to the grocery store, but just a heads up, this was like, I don't know, Friday night, Saturday night, I was out with my friends, so she's like, in, I think, some clubbing outfit, or something like that. So she doesn't quite look like a babysitter. And the family's fine with that. They're like, yep, no worries, just get her out of the house. Girl's like, cool, let's go to the grocery store. Little girl, I know how much you love the grocery store. And What ensues from there is that because it is late at night, because she is clearly not dressed as a typical babysitter, and because she is black and the young girl that she is babysitting is white, a woman who is shopping seems to not mind at first, but then comes back with a security guard, and the guard's like, whoa, hold on, what's going on here? Turns into this whole big fiasco. There is someone who is filming it. It's actually a guy who later talks to Amira and is like, hey, I got the film, what do you want to do with it? Short synopsis for it. So I have read just a couple chapters so far. One thing I want to comment on is that the way that the synopsis is written, like, don't take my synopsis for it. Go and read the actual synopsis on the book. The synopsis is a little clickbaity because it makes it sound like the one of the main things of the book is that this video happens and gets released right early on and everything that ensues from it. But that's not true. What happens is this guy films it and he comes up to Amira outside of the grocery store, outside of, like, everyone's peering eyes, and he's like, hey, you really could, like, sue the grocery store or something for this, blah, blah, blah. Do you want it? Like, I've got it. Like, what do you want to do with it? She's like, nah, honestly, I'm fine to just let this night roll. I really don't want to think about this night. I'm just going to move on. This guy's name is Kelly. And he's like, cool, let me just give you the video so you have it. So if later down the road you decide to do something, it's there. So he emails it to her. And that's it. And they move on. Like, I felt like I was signing up for something different with this book. Maybe it'll come into play, like, a little later on. Or, like, maybe, like, halfway through. I'm not sure. But I'll check in with you guys later once I get a feel for it. Also, just saying, my romance instincts are tingling a little bit. I think something's gonna happen with a little bit of Kelly and Amira going on here. I'll update you guys. We're about a fourth of the way through the book. Still really not much has happened directly due to the video. I really thought it was going to be released to the public or something like that at this point. The mom's name is Alix and the dad's name is Peter. And so Peter was the one who ran to Amira's aid when the security guard was harassing her at the grocery store, and he cleared everything up. So when he got home, he of course told his wife Alix about it, and Alix is, like, very appalled that it happened. And she's really trying to change things on her end and is a lot more conscious of everything and trying to make sure that anything like that never ever happens. The fun thing about this is that it's actually in dual perspective, and I really think that's really good for this book. It's been really helpful so far. The book's going great. I really am kind of confused about what the synopsis was then. So, catch you in a bit. I am about 3/4 of the way through the book. And still not much about the video. So why? Why was it put in the synopsis like this if it's not even going to be the center focus of the story? Like, I want to say the main focus of the story is really about Amira and Alix's, I don't want to say bond, but relationship with each other and how they're affecting each other. And Alix is, like, constantly trying to do things differently in her life now after what happened with Amira. And she's trying to show Amira that she's unbiased, that she wants to get, that she thinks justice should be served, and that Alix is doing everything she can to show that she is not just a privileged white woman. And she's doing it because she wants to show Amira, basically. And Amira, from the perspective of her, the whole time is just like, why are you not being a better mom to your daughter right now? And there's the whole dynamic with that as well. So, mixed emotions so far. Let's see how I feel at the end. And I'll give you guys my overall rating.
Hello, friends. So I am going to start my second book from my reading link, my favorite Booktubers, and that is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Clune, which honestly is a lot of people's favorites, but OliviaReadsALatte loved it so much, so I'm very excited to see if I also feel the same way or not. I don't know much about it. I know that it's gay, and it involves, like, a social worker and an orphanage and, like, kids with weird abilities. Everyone says it's, like, adorable and really cute, and I truly haven't seen anybody give it less than 4 stars, and most people give it 5 stars, so I'm really excited to see what it's about. Okay, so I finished House in the Cerulean Sea. I didn't give a halfway checkpoint because I was like really only about 3 chapters in before I fell asleep last night, and then I read the entire thing today. So I didn't get really a chance to do a halfway checkpoint, but I really liked it. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and it was so cute. And basically I thought it was like the cutest, gayest, loveliest thing. Is TJ Clune British? This felt very British, and I was like really here for it. But yeah, so this was like a total success, and basically I just need to read like Liv all the time.
Alright, so this time I am reading an epic kind of love story by Karen Callender. I don't know a whole super lot about it, but I do know that Hailey In Bookland was talking about it in one of her videos about a month and a half ago, and it sounded really super interesting. Don't know what's going on here, but I think it's gonna be super cute. So let me dive in and let you guys know how I'm feeling. Y'all, let's talk about this book. Oh my god, I'm in love with it. I am 57 pages in. Oh my god, it's so cute. Oh, okay, so right away, chapter 1 is already cute and flirty and a little bit of like romance, no romance, mystery going on there. Who knows? And it's like basic teenage boy crush. It's so cute. And okay, so there's like apparently something that went down between Oliver and Nate when they were younger. Oliver moved away. Oliver is now back. I just finished a part where they were kind of opening up and being like, hey, sorry for the way that our friendship ended. But they're also so cute because Oliver is like super shy, and it's like, Oliver, you have a boyfriend, but I know that you feel a little something for Nate. And Nate, Nate is funny because like chapter 1, he's like, she's cute, he's cute, I'm attracted to her, I'm attracted to him, look at them. Like, he's just got great physical attraction to basically everyone we meet in chapter 1. And oh my god, it's just so cute. Like, I can't. I don't. This book is 270 pages long. I am 56 pages in. I just started it at like 6:30 at night, and I already just want to binge it the entire rest of the night. Like, this is a perfect teen romance. It jumped right into it. I am in it to win it. I'm so excited for this. Probably every update I say in this video is just gonna be like, look how cute it is. They're so cute. Look how cute it is. I am in love right now. I'm gonna get back to reading because, you know what? Who cares if it's a Tuesday night and I have work tomorrow? We're binging this tonight. Absolutely. Stay tuned. Y'all, we were doing so good. But let me tell you something. Then we weren't. We are at 132. Close. Let me try and give it to you straight without giving spoilers. So we're in Nate's perspective. And, for lack of a better word, I'm just gonna go out and say it. Nate's being a dumbass. Why? Literally, why? He is treating Oliver like crap right now for something that Nate himself did. Like, I don't get it. He is pushing Oliver away because Nate did something, and it's not even Oliver's fault. Nate didn't even give Oliver a chance to respond. They didn't even get a chance to talk about it. And I'm sorry, I'm really trying to be spoiler-free right now, but I mean, you can figure it out. Like, I don't, why? Literally,
Why? Like, that's, I don't, why? I have nothing else to say. I'm raging internally right now. Nate is being a jerk. I want to strangle him. And the book was going so well until then. And I just can't go on. And I'm being a little dramatic. Yes. Thank you for noticing. I mean, I have to go on because they have to work things out. They haven't gotten a chance to date yet, which, I mean, hello, this is an epic love story. They have to date. But I'm like, it's situations like these where I'm like, I have 150 pages left, and I know that better stuff is coming. But we're in the midst of the bad stuff right now, and I just want to skip forward until it gets better, because I just can't. Like, I just accidentally flipped to a page ahead, and I just saw something that I shouldn't have. I'm gonna stop being dramatic and go read the rest of this. But I think it's best if we make this the last clip about this book, and I'll just wrap it all up at the end, because if we're only 130 pages in, and Nate is already making me feel all types of things, and raging about all types of things, there is so much more to come. I need to peace out right now, before I lose my mind. I can't. Someone tell Nate to just suck it up and stop being such a jerk.
Alright guys, if you are here, that means you made it through our vlog clips and you're ready to see what our overall general feelings are now that we have finished the books. I say we can just go back and forth one book at a time.
Sure.
Alright, so the first one was Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. As I mentioned in my clips, I really went into it with expectations that it was going to be something different. I'm not unhappy with how it turned out, it's just the expectation part really kind of ruined it for me. There was also, I wish I could have changed the ending. I won't spoil it, but the ending was a little unpredictable.
Didn't work for you.
Quick side note about that. So I always text Jason whenever I'm like complaining about a book or happy about a book. And I was talking to him the other day and I was like, wow, this book had such a predictable ending. I wish it was a little bit more unpredictable. And he was like, you say that about unpredictable endings too. I was like, no, I don't. And then I texted him about the unpredictable ending and he was like, oh, glad to see there's an unpredictable ending for once. And I was like, I see what you're saying.
I see that this is something that I know.
So predictable or not, apparently I can be very unhappy with endings. But yeah, overall, I think I would give it a 3.5. I think if I were to reread it, maybe in a couple years, I'd be able to give it maybe a better rating, because it was a very good book, and Lindsay and I actually talked about it, and I like that it touched a lot on performative activism. Thank you for that word, Lindsay.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought that it was a really great book. It was very hard to give it anything higher with the expectations going into it.
Fair enough. So, obviously, as you saw from my reading clips from Mexican Gothic, this was so weird, but I really loved it. I ended up giving this a 4.5, which is what I gave this author's other book. And I know that she has a book coming out, and I want to say September or October, called Velvet is the Night. I'll insert a picture of the cover because, damn, she is pretty. And I can't wait to read it. I'm going to own it because this was so weird. And I know that's what I keep saying, but I don't know. I don't want to spoil it, but there's
no, you're right though.
Mushrooms and
that's all she told me. When she first told me she finished, she was like, there were mushrooms involved? I was like,
many mushrooms.
Cool.
And weird people. And this author, much like her other book, and I know I touched on this in the vlog clip, but I wanted to reiterate that here, is that this author does such a good job at blending themes of white supremacy, colonialism, eugenics into a horror book. And I was really creeped out. And I feel like I don't get easily squeamish in books, but some of the descriptions in here were so strange and icky in a great way. So this was just so good, and I really loved our characters, and I really loved the way where the story went. So 4.5 out of 5. It didn't get a full 5 out of 5 because I thought at some parts things were kind of confusing, and I had to go back and reread and just make sure that I wasn't being dumb. And I feel as if I might have been dumb. I feel like this may have gone over, some parts went over my head, and so when a plot twist happened, I was kind of like, that came out of nowhere. But then I was like, no, actually, I think she left breadcrumbs, but I was just not picking up on them.
Right.
But excellent book. Highly recommend if you like weird, spooky horror books set in Mexico, which I really never read books set in Mexico in the 1950s. So
that sounds like definitely a good October vibe book.
Oh yeah, I kind of wish I had read it in like October or November, but fantastic.
Good. I also gave This Is Kind of an Epic Love Story a 4.5 out of 5.
Okay.
I don't even know how to describe this. So this was a trash book. It was like that trashy, like, drama reality show that you watch on TV, and you're like, this is absolutely ridiculous, but you can't stop watching
like
it.
A train wreck. Yeah.
Right, like, this was even beyond guilty pleasure. This was like, why I finished it, and I was like, this was so good. And I took a minute to reflect on it, and I was like, but this was so bad. So it's a teen romance between two guys, and it gets very teeny bopper at one point, and, like, you have a lot of characters that you hate, and you have, like, one or two characters that you actually care about, but then at the same time, it's like, every time there's, let's say, a new chapter, and, like, Florence is one of the female characters, you know when Florence is walking down the street, something's about to go down, and you gotta flip through to see what's happening. And then a lot of times you could tell when Nate was either going to screw things up, but at the same time, it was like, you're gonna break my heart, and everyone else's, but I need to know what you're about to do. So the only reason it didn't get a 5 out of 5 was because it was, like, I feel like if I were to look at this objectively, and not with a romantic heart, I would be like, everyone was a jerk, except for one person, and no one deserved anything. But at the same time, I was like, give me more.
Give me more. Who's it by?
This is by Karen Callender.
Oh, I've never heard of them.
Which is also, I mean, that's why I got so dramatic in my clips when I talked about it, because I was so into it, I couldn't put it down.
I wonder if they're related to Kaysen Callender.
I don't know. I binged
He's
that.
Also an author.
I binged that in 4 hours. I picked it up and I didn't put it down for 4 hours.
Oh, I think Karen Callender is Kaysen Callender.
Oh.
But I think maybe that this is before they transitioned. So I think this is published under their birth name, but I think they go by Kaysen Callender now.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, cool. I was like, that sounds really familiar. I was like, that name. Yeah, especially if this was published a couple years ago.
Let's see. I think it's... well, the library that I got it from got it in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, published in 2018.
Huh. Well, we will do research and get back to you.
Yes.
But I'm glad you liked that one.
Yes. I'm glad it was, like, such a bingeable, not even guilty pleasure. It was just fun.
It was just fun. So, obviously, the last book of our exploration of our favorite booktubers for me was The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Clune. This was just it was a warm hug. It was gay. It was really cute. I ended up giving it 4.5 out of 5 too.
Yay.
So this was really successful, and basically it taught me that I just need to read everything that Liv recommends because I think I'm gonna have a good time. We have Linus Baker, who's the social worker for this youth of ministry of magical children. I don't even know. And so he gets a special classified assignment to go to this orphanage to see what is going on with the kids there, all these magical youth. One of them is the Antichrist. One of them is a gnome. There's a wervin. They're all like little strange children. And this was just really cute. I've heard it described as like a middle grade for adults, and I see why people call it that. It's not middle grade as far as its writing or its content, but it's very sweet, and it didn't get a full 5 out of 5 stars because at some points it was like, it's so cheesy that it hurts, but like in a good way. Like, it was very sweet. Like, everybody, like all the little kids were adorable, and like Chauncey just wants to be a bellhop, but he's like a gelatinous blob, and it's really cute. And I was just reading it and I was smiling, and I think I said at the end of one of my vlog clips, is this British? Is TJ Clune British? Because I got the biggest British humor vibes and like wit, and it was, if he's not British, he did a fantastic job at pretending that they were, and if he is, I want to read more by him because this was just really cute and sweet and gay, and it was adorable, and I would read from him in the future. So yay to this book. I'm glad it didn't disappoint because everyone loves it.
Yes, I've heard
I was
nothing but
worried
good things about it.
That I was not going to like it because I tend to not like things that everybody else likes. I don't know. I just happen to be like that. I'm sorry. I'm one of those people.
All right. Well, our rambling is done. Thank you for checking in with us on this video. It was super awesome to read like our favorite booktubers. Yes. Something we're definitely going to have to do again.
Definitely.
If you have read either of the 4 books that we talked about, let us know in the comments what you think about it, and we'll catch you in our next video. Bye.